Hey all, hello and welcome, Tony Bing here. For this beginner's guide we will be having a look at She-Hulk. Now in this particular video we'll have a look at her attributes, traits and her unique resource. We'll check out a few of her costumes, we'll have a look at her signature and ultimate, and finishing up we'll have a look at some of our different skills that she's got to offer with some gameplay run throughs. Now if you want to jump to any of those particular sections in any of my beginner's guide videos, I now have little time links included within the actual description of the video, so make sure to check that section out if you do want to jump to a particular part of the video. But first up for this one anyway, we'll have a look at the attributes, traits and resource. The offensive trait for She-Hulk is called Contempt of Court. So with this you gain 20% base damage versus enemies that are targeting you, and she does actually have taunt moves so she can make the most of that. Her archetype is tank, that gives her a bonus to durability and strength attributes, either of them can be useful. And for the defensive trait we have Defense Attorney. With this you gain a maximum of 1750 health. Her archetype is tough, giving a bonus to defense and deflect, and as a primarily melee character she also has a flat 8% damage reduction as standard. Now for her resource, this is actually the same as the good old regular Hulk, and this is anger. So this is her primary resource. It generates when she deals damage or as damage is dealt to her, and the benefits of higher anger actually scale. So you have base damage, critical hit damage, brutal strike damage, critical hit rating multiplier, and attack and move speed. And the base damage, crit hit and brute strike go up to 30% at full anger, and the crit hit rating multiplier and attack speed go up to 10% when you're actually full. Now she also has something slightly different, and this is a secondary resource which is combo points. This is something along the lines of what Luke Cage or Daredevil even uses. So you have powers called openers, and these will generate combo points, and then you have finisher powers, and these will spend the combo points to do additional damage. Now if you so wish you can actually choose a talent that does away with the combo point system, so you want to play her just as a regular cooldown character, you can certainly do that, and it's great that the option is there. Personally I do prefer the non-combo point one, because we already have one resource to juggle with trying to keep the anger up. Having the combo points on top of it feels a bit much for me, but your mileage will vary with that of course, but that's my personal preference. Now next up, what we'll do for this video is we'll check out a few of her costumes. For her default costume we have the single green female look. It's simple enough, and this is the case of most of her costumes, but it does look nice. We then have Law and Disorder, like this one, because it looks like almost a wrestling costume, and a lot of her moves are almost like wrestling moves, so this works quite well. And then finishing up we have a costume which is a little nod to the fact that our lawyer background. This is called Lawyer Attire, and it really is quite different from the previous ones. But next up, let's have a look at her signature and ultimate. For her signature we have a skill called Conviction. So with this she'll run up and kick the enemy, and then she slams back down doing a massive elbow drop. So you've got the initial damage packet, and top of this it actually works as a buff, and it gives you a bonus of 15% to your damage and a 15% damage reduction. And it's a buff that will last for 10 seconds, and your signature actually has a 25-second cooldown, so you can really get quite a good uptime on that. Now you'll notice I do have another tooltip here as well, and this is Surprise Witness. And with this, it's a skill that summons a random team up. Now the reason I'm showing it alongside the signature is through talents you can have it so that Conviction will automatically activate Surprise Witness should it not already be on cooldown. So that's really pretty nice there. It is random, so it's fun to see who she'll call in. But next up anyway, let's have a look at the ultimate skill. For the ultimate we have a rather awesome looking skill. This is called Pillar of Justice. So she grabs a massive pillar, not surprisingly, and spins it round, smashing the enemy. She's got the initial damage packet which jumps down with it. She then does a further 18 hits, and then you've got a large damage packet at the end of it. On top of this, it also works as a steroid, and you'll gain a bonus damage rating a huge 75% reduction in damage you receive, and you regenerate combo points at 5 a second, which is enough for you to start spamming all your finisher attacks, so you can do a whole lot of damage with this. Now next up, we'll run through the Shocker Terminal, and what we'll show off first is all the kind of lawyer flavoured skills. Once we've done that, we'll then run through the Kingpin's Warehouse and we'll show off the opening and finishing skills. But first up, we'll check out all the lawyer flavoured skills. Now, with the actual representation of She-Hulk in the game, she's a character that plays very strongly on the lawyer aspect, and her skills are all really quite over the top. The first one we'll look at is simple enough though, saying that. The first one is cross-examination, which is just your main basic opener skill. This will generate combo points, and it actually generates anger as well. It's 5% anger it generates on hit. We then have another simple skill we follow up. This is good for closing down on enemies, and it's called Move to Strike. So you just slide along the ground into them and do the large damage packet with a 6-second cooldown. We then have a skill that quite a few of our characters have, and this is Barrister Beatdown. So Blade has a variant of this, and so does Luke Cage as well, where they do multiple punches. So this particular one, it actually requires you to have maximum combo points. There's a whopping 10 hits. When you're actually casting it, you have a 100% deflect chance, and should you wish, through talents you can change this so it wouldn't actually require combo points to activate, so that option is there. The next one we have is these lawyer skills we were talking that really are quite flavoursome. The first one we have is Objection. I need to stop myself from shouting that. So you've got the physical damage. If you have 0 combo points, which means you want to use this after using a finisher, then you will have a 100% chance for this particular skill to actually brute, so it can do a nice amount of damage. The next skill we look at is Lawyer Up, and this is really a quite interesting one. So when you cast this, you'll regenerate 50% of your maximum health. The cooldowns are rather high, 30 seconds, but when you cast it you gain a stack of evidence. Now this will buff your base damage, deflect chance, attack and move speed. You can see this stacks up to 10 times, and while this actual buff is active for the 30 seconds, if you're to use Closing Argument or Final Verdict, which is 2 finishing skills we'll look at in the next section, this will actually increase the stack in there. So if you add this on top of your actual anger, where you're getting lots of bonuses from, you can do a huge amount of damage. It does take a bit of kind of management to get up the full stacks and keep them, but it's certainly an interesting idea there. So final skill, just as we finish up here, is Burying Paperwork, and this is a spammable ranged area bleeding attack, so it's great for taking out trash, and it will also slow down the enemy as well, and it's got that crazy lawyer feel as you're throwing paperwork at enemies. So as I mentioned, her skills are a bit zany. But next up, let's have a look at her opening and finishing skills, and these are kind of like wrestling skills almost, so they're pretty great. The first 3 skills we actually look at here then are all opening skills. Now the first one, which is your main spender, this is Battery. So with this you actually do bonus damage to weakened enemies, and in a moment we'll look at a skill that provides that weaken. On top of this, this will also generate combo points given that it is an opener skill. We then have Opening Statement, which is almost like a crash down power of sorts. This has a low 3-second cooldown, you've got 2 charges on it, and it also does vulnerability and it generates combo points. Now if you have no combo points, it will generate 2, so this is a good one to start off building those combo points up. We then have Assault, so with this particular one you can spam this, you're slamming your foot down and doing large AoE damage, and this will provide a weaken, so that works great with Battery that we discussed a moment ago. It will generate 1 combo point per enemy hit, so if you use it in a group of enemies you can charge up your combo points really quickly there. Now once you've actually got your full combo points, you then want to start using your finisher skills, and we have 2 of them to look at. The first one's pretty awesome because it's a massive elbow drop, and this is called Final Verdict. So you've got the initial damage packet, has a damage bonus of 20% per combo point spent. Now you have 5 combo points initially. Through talents you can actually get that all the way up to 10, which would mean you would do a whopping extra 200% damage with this. Now it will also knock down the enemies for 2.5 seconds and on top of that it actually has a low 3-second cooldown, and you can hold up to 2 charges. So this can be pretty good for moving around the map and closing down on enemies, because you will leap to the target. Now the final finishing skill we look at is Closing Argument, which is a huge uppercut. You've got the damage packet. Again, like the previous skill, it's 20% extra damage per combo point spent. So if you've got just the regular setup for combo points of 5, you're doing 100% damage. If you choose to go for 10, you've got the whopping 200% damage. And it also has a 20% critical hit chance on top of your normal chance. And finally for it, there's quite a lot in it. It will knock the enemy up into the air as well, which looks great, punching them away up in the air. Now, final skill we'll look at is 2 variants. The current one we've just showed off there was the ranged version of it, and this is Barrack Sam, where you'll throw a large dumbbell and this will generate a huge 5 combo points. This can be great if you've used all your combo points, then a finisher, you can throw this to build them back up and quickly fire off another finisher again. So that's where the charges and final verdict can actually come in pretty useful there. But we'll fire off all these skills together on Dr. Octopus to finish him off. Whilst we are actually fighting him, I will mention that with She-Hulk you do have the more kind of regular build where you're doing all the punching moves and all the big large elbow slams, or if you want to really ham it up, you have the option of doing all the different lawyer moves, throwing the briefcases and the papers. Personally, that particular build's not for me, it's a bit too hammy, but as I say, both of the options are there, which is pretty good. So no matter what you like She-Hulk for being an absolute powerhouse, or for more the comedic value that our character can offer, the options are there. So as always, I hope this beginner's guide video was useful, and thanks once more for tuning in, and I will see you all again soon.